Good morning and welcome to the Way of Life Thursday check-in. My name is Michael Schechter and I want to welcome you to today's check-in. Today, we're talking about meditation basics and we'll be looking at that in just a moment. But by now you should have been able to review week 5 materials that focus on being prepared and preparing your meals. I like the way they taught the 5 P's of meal prep. See if I can name them now. Plan, purchase, prepare, pre-portion, and properly store. These are great tips to go to school on, and we have some wonderful articles and some great recipes that accompany today's materials. This week's challenge is to eat at least 2 veggies at dinner. That's a great thing to do. I hope that people are still doing their push-ups, squats, and lunges. Again, keeping our muscles nice and toned and increasing muscle mass. Just a quick review from the first 5 weeks. Everybody should keep in mind their why. We talked about this a while ago. What's your motivation for wanting to make these healthy changes? Keep that at the forefront of your mind. We hope that you've understood now calories enough to develop a daily calorie budget and have a sense of what the right amount of food is for you. And remember, as I've told you over and over, exercise significantly widens that calorie burn and increases your calorie budget. And finally, I want you to pay attention to your eating habits, your cues, understand your hunger, understand your triggers, and understand ways to delay and dissolve cravings. And we've talked about all those things, but I remind you that if you need extra help, give us a call at Be Well Solutions. Included in your Way of Life program is the opportunity to work with registered dietitians and health coaches on developing new healthy habits and a great relationship with food. So today we're going to talk a little bit about meditation basics, and we talked a little bit when we discussed sleep about the 2 sides of the nervous system, the activating side and the relaxation side, or the relaxing side. But we're going to talk a little bit more excuse me, about that this morning. So when we want to get rid of tension, we describe that as relaxation. So physiologically, a release of tension and a return to equilibrium is the goals that we want to accomplish during meditation or relaxation. Again, we want to bring the nervous system into balance so we're awake and alert, but not overly activated. And that really involves returning to a state of balance. We all remember that the fight or flight response is a reaction. It is not a well thought out plan, but it involves a multitude of physiologic responses that occur when we're startled or scared. Our brain feels that stress and activates a number of hormones that tell us to step on the gas. Adrenaline and cortisol are 2 of the main chemical messengers that are released. And what happens? Our blood pressure goes up, our pulse increases, blood flows to our skeletal muscles, our pupils constrict, our awareness is heightened. We have a burst of energy and strength, and it's just, again, like hitting the gas, stepping on it. Now, what I want you to remember, and I've alluded to this before, is those reactions are mediated by one side of our nervous system called the sympathetic nervous system. That's the fight or flight response. What few people realize is there's another side of our nervous system, and we've talked about this a little bit before, the relaxation side, the winding down side that we talked about a little during the sleep mini lecture that we did. But that parasympathetic side of things allows us to stimulate what we call a relaxation response, which is just the opposite of the fight or flight response. Certain things seem to happen with the relaxation response. Our blood pressure comes down. Our pulse comes down. we feel less activated and more relaxed. Blood moves away from our skeletal muscles and nourishes our internal organs, promoting rest and digestion. So that's the other side. So how do we stimulate that side, that parasympathetic side of the nervous system? Well, the answer is just breathe. Our lungs are the only organ under conscious control that can easily, with training, stimulate that relaxation response. Slow, quiet, deep, repeated natural breaths seem to signal our nervous system to relax. So breathing techniques are a great way to restore balance to this system by slowing or stopping that sympathetic outflow and encouraging the relaxation response, the parasympathetic outflow. Now, meditation is a skill, and meditation is a form of relaxation training. And meditation is centered around breath work. And when we teach people breath work in the interest of relaxation, we teach them what's called belly breathing. And belly breathing really means that when we inhale, we're pushing our belly out, and we're using those abdominal muscles to help us inspire more. And then when we exhale, we're using those central muscles to push that breath out. Other basics of meditation or breath work is that our posture should stress a straight spine so we can have the maximum inhalation and expiration, maximum area for our lungs to inflate. We want to teach people to maintain focus, not on the external world, but on their own internal state. Some people call that mindfulness, but what we're really using here is a device called a mantra that helps us focus our attention on our breathing and our internal state. And as other thoughts tend to intrude upon our consciousness, we work on pushing those away. Now, generally, the mantra is a word that's repeated that is generally repeated with each exhalation. So as we exhale, we begin to repeat the mantra. And again, meditation is a passive effort. So it's active, but we're not fighting things. So if something enters our mind, we gently push it out and focus back on our breath work. So again, it's very, very helpful to learn to meditate, but it is a skill, one that needs to be learned and practiced. Once you do it correctly, you will produce a physiologic relaxation response, and you will notice an improvement in the way you feel. Now, if you want some resources, there's several out there, depending on how you like to learn. There's articles, and these are two great articles that I pulled off of the internet. One is from the New York Times called How to Meditate. It's again, a 2023 article, very, very good. And then there's one from Self Magazine called How to Meditate When You Have No Idea Where to Start. So these are great resources for beginners, especially if you like to do the reading. If you like YouTube, there are wonderful resources for people interested in learning to meditate on the web, including a 10-minute meditation video for beginners. This is written and narrated by John Davisi, a mindfulness life coach, teacher, and speaker. It's a very nice beginning video. There's a YouTube channel called Pickup Lines that have great beginner's guides to meditation. And finally, the relaxation response video, which is one of my favorites because it comes from the Harvard School of Medicine, where the relaxation response was discovered by a guy named Herbert Benson. This is a wonderful video, Meditate with Peg Bain, and that should be easy for you to find. So if you like videos, that's the resources that I would recommend for you. And finally, if you're somebody who likes apps, most of them cost some money. There are a number of apps out there that can help you with meditation. The best overall, generally, most people feel, is one called Headspace. That's about $70 a month. But all of the sites that you see right here are very, very good and worth at least exploring. I myself used Insight Timer, and I used the subscription-free version, and found it to be very, very helpful as well. And this is an example of my check-in page on my phone for Insight Timer. And again, the free app provides me with all the materials that I feel I need. So those are some great ways to get started. Now, there are other relaxation techniques out there. There are things like progressive muscle relaxation. There's yoga and other breathing methods that can be used, but meditation is a great one to dip your toe in if you have an interest. So in summary, with the increasing demands on our time and minds, developing a relaxation habit is beneficial to both spirit and mental health. Meditation is a great skill that can be practiced with a passive attitude. A passive attitude means don't worry about doing it right or wrong, just do it. And the more you do it, the better you'll get at it, and the more of a relaxation response you can provoke. Dismissing intrusive efforts and thoughts from the past and dismissing worries about the future is a key component to try to stay in the moment while you're meditating. And finally, as I showed you, there's several sources to assist in developing your ability to practice mindfulness and meditation. So that's a brief introduction. Next week, we're hoping that you will develop the habit of meditating at least 5 minutes per day. So this will get you ready and started to move toward that goal. And I want to remind everybody to keep on tracking. Just a reminder, you can only go back 3 days for tracking purposes. Tracking builds accountability, and accountability will lead to results if we allow ourselves the room to fail as well. So please, as you move forward through the Way of Life program and develop these new habits, remember to balance accountability with self-forgiveness. Nobody's perfect, and tomorrow's another day. Thanks for coming and tuning into this video. I look forward to talking to you next week. We'll talk about meal delivery plans. I find that to be sort of an interesting solution for some people who are time-strapped. For those people who can't apply the 5 Ps that we talked about right now, sometimes services can help out with those things. As always, we invite you to share your victories, challenges, and questions with us. I remind you that our wellness coaches and our registered dietitians are here to help you develop healthy relationships in your life and healthy relationships with food. If you need questions or you need assistance, feel free to reach out to us. Thank you so much for tuning in today, and until next week, keep on tracking.